It is the first Sunday in August, the 8th month of the year, and we have lined up interesting stories for your Sunday relaxation. Welcome to Sunday Rendezvous. Tonight, the annual convention of the Victory Christian Mission holds in Enugu. In Rendezvous proper, find out the couple who got struck with the arrow of Cupid. And as the 2022-2023 academic year comes to an end, more schools are organizing graduation ceremonies. And we have other human angle stories in our kiddie that will interest you. Good evening, and I'm glad you could join us. Do not forget that you can watch us live on our YouTube channel at NTA Enugu. Praying without ceasing and being humble have been identified as some attributes every Christian should have to obtain blessings from God. The lead pastor of Victory Christian Mission, Pastor Oral Onuibo, stated this during the church's annual convention, which held in Enugu. Uchenna Nnamele reports.
That was the mood of worshippers at the Victory Christian Mission Enugu as the annual convention held, which attracted Christian faithful from within and outside Enugu. The convention has as its theme, Grace for Ease. In a sermon, the lead pastor, Pastor Ora Onibo, enjoined Christians to remain steadfast in prayers for them to obtain grace from God. The cleric urged the congregation to always be humble, especially in the sight of God.
The Lord resisted the proud, but He giveth grace to the humble. The headquarter of grace is the throne room of prayer. Let us come boldly to the throne of grace, that we may obtain help and find grace.
A visiting minister of God, Apostle Ofodile Ikenna, advised Christians to always have a cordial relationship with God so as to receive blessings from Him.
The word of the Lord for the church is come up higher. When they come up higher, they will receive what you call a new sound, but it's a sound that was foreordained in heaven that carries a solution for whatever we need on this earth. God is still God, no matter what men are doing.
Some of the members spoke on the annual convention.
The message is feelable, it's impactful, and it is message from the throne of grace, which is for the now. That message centers on ease for grace. When grace comes upon somebody, then hard work disappears. Favor takes over.
It's awesome. I feel very, very, very happy. God really did a marvelous thing in this convention.
The event featured presentation of award of steadfastness in service as well as deliverance of members. In Enugu, Uchenna Nnamele, NTA News.
In his national broadcast to Nigerians last week, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said the federal government has put in place measures to reduce the burden the current economic situation occasioned by fuel subsidy removal brought to the most vulnerable, the working class and business people. Some respondents in Enugu, while appreciating the president's efforts, however, appealed for quick implementation of his plans. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu says for several years he has consistently maintained the position that fuel subsidy had to go, the reason why he announced its removal on the 29th of May this year while delivering his inaugural speech. The subsidy, he said, cost Nigeria trillions of naira, which would have been spent on public transportation, healthcare, schools, housing, etc. But the money, the president noted, was being channeled into the pockets and bank accounts of a selected group of individuals. The president said he is not unaware that the cost of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, food and other services has gone up, but he wants Nigerians to look beyond these temporary pains and hardship they face, but look up to better days ahead. The president noted that what he can offer in the immediate as measures to cushion the effect of the fuel subsidy removal is that he has ordered the release of 200,000 metric tons of grains from strategic reserves to households across the 36 states and the FCT, and that the federal government has had a multi-stakeholders engagement with various farmers associations and operators within the agricultural value chain to ensure that prices of food items remain affordable while food remain available.
I had promised to reform the economy for the long-term good by fighting major imbalances that has plagued our economy. Ending the subsidy and the preferential exchange rate system were key to this fight.
For the workers, the president said the federal government is working in collaboration with labor unions to introduce a new national minimum wage for workers, which once agreed upon on what should be its upward review, a budget provision for it will be made for its implementation. But how do some Nigerians see these measures?
Ordinarily, before removal of fuel subsidy, those palliatives would have been on ground. So we don't have confidence in all those promises. We want to see action.
We are not only talking about workers, we are talking about even the unemployed. The economic hazards is too much on us. And we are saying enough is enough. Those palliatives, we are yet to see the effects. Until we begin to see those effects.
There's no way we can take the palliative of 8,000. They should come, sit down so that we'll talk and dialogue.
The president ended his broadcast by telling Nigerians to remain patient and have faith in his administration's ability to deliver. In Enugu State Governor Dr. Peter Umba has expressed commitment to improving the living standard of pensioners in the state by creating policies and programs aimed at ameliorating their plight. Chika Ugu reports that the governor made this known when he inaugurated a committee saddled with the responsibility for verification and payment of outstanding pensions and gratuities of Enugu State retirees.
The committee are expected to determine and verify outstanding 2 months pension arrears of the state retirees, to determine and verify the outstanding gratuities owed to the retirees, conduct all payments according to months or years of retirement, and render monthly and quarterly reports to the Secretary to the state government in respect of all payments made. Inaugurating the committee, Governor Peter Umba acknowledged that the removal of fuel subsidy and the consequent hike in price of petroleum products have excruciating impact on the most vulnerable in the society, raising his administration has put in place measures to cushion the effects. He also reiterated his commitment to achieve his campaign promises of poverty eradication, hence the committee to ensure that retirees have access to funds to improve their standard of living.
It is the government's policy to ensure that we put in place measures, both immediate, short, medium and long-term measures to address the impact of the removal of the fuel subsidy. And for us in Enugu State, we believe that the best way to achieve that is to ensure that our vulnerable ones, our retirees, have access to funds and that they continue to have money to buy things.
The 7-man committee has the Secretary to the state government, Professor Chidebere Onya, as the chairman. Others include State Head of Service Kenneth Ugu, State Chairman Trade Union Congress Ben Asogwa, Chairman Nigerian Labour Congress Enugu State Fabian Wigbo, Chairman Public Service Joint Negotiating Council Ezekiel Ome, Special Advisor to the Governor on Project Management, Professor Chiamaka Ebu, and Accountant General Anthony Okenwa. In Enugu, Chika Ubu, NTA News.
You are still on to Sunday Rendezvous. We'll take a break here. We'll be back shortly. Do stay. Welcome back. Love, it is said, breaks all barriers. Do you doubt these assertions? Then, the story of Blessing and Aloysius, a couple with speech and hearing impediments, will convince you that love thrives beyond limitations. Overlooking their challenges, this young couple with special needs recently consummated their love and were joined together in holy matrimony at the Assemblies of God Church, Transekulu, Enugu. Susan Eze is waiting in the wings to unveil all you need to know about this love journey.
Blessing and Aloysius can neither hear nor speak. have found rhythm in the sound of love. This ceremony is a consummation of the bond they share as two of a kind. You can't help but shed a tear or two as you watch the expression of joy and gratitude to God by the parents and relatives of these two special people.
I'm feeling fine, very happy.
I'm happy very well to see that my daughter worked today.
She's my younger sister, very industrious, very intelligent. She will do well as a wife.
Guess who came to felicitate with the young couple? Chika Okpara, Chief Zebediah Okoribemubo, alias 430. Remember him? Mentor to the couple, Reverend Georgia Oga, gives hope to families with special children.
Every deaf in Nigeria is my child. That they are challenged in one way or the other doesn't make them less human. If you have such a child and you don't know what to do, bring that child to me. I know what to make out of that child, and you will celebrate that child.
You notice that whenever they see someone that can communicate with them like an interpreter, they feel so happy, they welcome you, they are so much happy with you.
Verbal communication may be a challenge here, but with talking fingers, the crew spoke to the couple.
It's because we are able to understand ourselves, we understand sign, and we are able to communicate with each other. I will be able to cope and also to be able to serve my husband and take care of my children.
These two have broken the verbal language barrier, which proves that if love is shared all around, life would be a beautiful thing. So, sharing love from me to you, I say, I love you. Bye.
I agree with you, Susan. Indeed, love thrives beyond limitations. What a phenomenal wedding. It was a memorable and fun-filled day for students, pupils, teachers, and the management of the Unique Kids Academy, Enugu, as they gathered for their annual prize giving and graduation ceremony. Chimaroke Ugu was at the event for Sunday Rendezvous.
The graduation ceremony of Unique Kids Academy Enugu brought together friends, parents, and admirers of the school. The colorful and fun-filled event was to celebrate the achievement of the pupils, as well as to reward efforts of the teachers during the academic year. Beautiful presentations from the pupils and graduates thrilled the guests at the event.
From distant past,
The proprietor and proprietress of the school commended the efforts of the teachers and noted that quality education and sound moral is what the school is known for.
We have lasted now more than 11 years. So the school started from grassroots.
Aim is to nurture and bring out quality and good children that have good morals, discipline, that will add value to the society. That's the promise and the covenant with my God, that this school, with whatever I can do to move this school to the next level, I'll do that. I'll put in my money, I'll put in my strength, I'll put in everything I have to make sure any child that comes out of this school will in future become either a president, a senator, a governor, or something else somewhere.
Some parents and graduates extol the resilience of the school in standard tutorship.
And I learned a lot from this school. This school has made me to learn a lot. I've learned a lot from this school, and I promise promised my proprietor that I'll continue to move forward in life, and I thank God for her.
There's a difference between living a life and living a double life, so it taught me to stand true to what I am, so far as is the truth. And then they actually made me to be more social.
What is happening today, you gave me witness that they are doing very well. It's a place where morals are built and academics is inculcated.
Actually, the school is doing tremendously well. They are the one and the best in Adamawa as of now. So we are urging them to do more.
Prizes were presented to some graduating students who distinguished themselves in character and learning.
Yes. Jesus.
We say congratulations to the graduates and we wish them well in their next stage of academic pursuit. Lateness to meetings or events such as weddings, ceremonies, and birthdays has been commonly referred to as African time, and it is increasingly becoming part of the social life in most African countries. Dorix Alex in this report takes a look at this syndrome and its negative effects.
African time is the perceived cultural tendency in parts of Africa and the Caribbean towards a more relaxed attitude to time. African time attitude is usually witnessed during meetings, events like wedding, child dedication, burial ceremony, among others. African time is a cultural impunity that is ravaging the African nations. The question is, how often do people keep to time?
Time doesn't work exactly as they fix it.
It is not an ideal time, but it's about a relaxed, tendency about timekeeping of events. So African time is not for everybody. Western countries do not, recognize that.
But I try my best to at least to keep to time. Sometimes I fail anyway.
Like I say, public servants, I don't do African time. I know the danger of doing African time and it's not good.
They therefore noted that African time creates bad impression, reduces productivity, makes one lose opportunity and relationship.
Succeed in life is directly proportional to how you're able to keep time. You must be disciplined. And I think personally I can talk for myself. I have that discipline of time.
Banking on African time, so it affects our economy negatively.
It is believed that for this cultural tendency with its negativity to change, respondents are of the opinion that there must be a total overhaul of attitudinal change by the citizenry, both on individual, private, and public fare.
Indeed, I agree with that. It calls for attitudinal change and a reorientation of values. Now, sometimes certain traditional acts seem to beat the imagination, whether it is the act of rainmaking or treatment of diseases using roots and herbs. Watching this young traditional medicine man perform these acts leaves a lot to be desired. Against all odds, especially in the middle of a heavy downpour, Mina Adobe Ukobasi stopped by Obunofiandiuno in Enugu local government area of Enugu State, a community known widely for their expertise in traditional medicine practices, and here are her findings.
On our way into Obenofia Nduno Ezago village, it was raining heavily, but on reaching the shrine and residence of traditional Dr. Callisto Sanichebe, there was no single drop of rain. On inquiry, we discovered that the traditionalist has stopped the rain.
Every year we waste millions of dollars going to New York, going to Japan, going to China, going to Russia. What are they looking for? Climate change. But in the village of Obunofia, right here, he is somebody that can bring weather control for the entire world. It's just through herbs.
Our little research shows that this young traditionalist is also gifted with treatment of diseases using roots and herbs.
Seeing is believing.
When you come, he will tell you, go and take this root. Take it half glass. Take it with shot. Mix it with water. Mix it with this. There's no English medicine that comes into it. And after taking it, you will see the result. There and then.
We also cited some of his loyalists and patients who came to get medications. We asked the efficacy of roots and herbs in the treatment of their ailments.
Our people have been living. People has been existing and taking traditional medicine without any grudges, without any problems. So at a point, we find out that our people started looking down because the white now have given us their own. Now persuading us to drop our own, that their own is best. Even at times, their own does not treat certain sicknesses which traditional medicine treats.
To some people, the difference between orthodox and traditional medicine is the approach. Whereas traditional medicine treats symptoms and problems, orthodox focuses on cause and prevention. Consuming herbs, respondents say, is efficient in curbing heart diseases, cancers and other terminal ailments. Reason some people lived quite ill before the introduction of orthodox medicine. However, there are those who do not believe in the efficacy of an orthodox medicine.
Which one do you believe in? Do you believe in orthodox or traditional medicine? Well, I'll leave you with that poser. And the clock has gone 360 degrees for us here. And so this is where we call it a day on this week's edition of Sunday Rendezvous. We thank you so much for being a part of it, and we wish you a wonderful working week ahead. Good night, and God bless.